Alright, so we're back. I think where I last left off was I had to render out some blend files. Render out the faces. And the reason why I don't remember is because I've had to do this video, this is probably the 6th time. Last time I put in too much on the subdivision modifier and I crashed Blender. And you're saying, why did I need to put in a subsurface? Spoilers. Alright, so let's double check that I did these correctly. We did filmic. We changed the resolution in 8 of X and Y to square. I don't remember if I showed you that before. The pivot point of stereoscopy had to change from left to center. So when we render out the equirectangular projection, that camera is going to be in the center of these two pivots in space. And let's see if we had to do anything else. We had to change the camera each time we saved, and I think I did that. We'll be able to quickly see that when we put them back on the cube. I could have turned gravity and all that stuff off because I didn't need it. Okay, good. Those were the settings in case I didn't show you last time and they were wrong, because I think they were. Now we're going to open the original cubed EquiBlend file. I hope this is the original. It is not. Alright. The original cubed EquiBlend file, this camera, you will see, is way up in the air. You have to pull it back down. I'm not going to reopen that zip file. I'm just going to show you what I change. Main thing is you have to fix that camera. Second thing, this X rotation, well, this is where it was. It was 109. I remember that now, because I've changed it so many times. This was at 109. It needs to be 90. There. Now it's where it needs to be. There was, let's do it. Here for the cube, you will have a subdivision modifier. Simple. I don't remember what he had this set at. Let's just do 8 and render 8. He also had a cast modifier. 8 and 8. Let's make it 10. Is that, wait, oh, crap! I crashed it again. Please don't crash. Please come back. I should not have changed that from 8 to 10. Yeah, it didn't crash. 8! Right. He did a cast modifier. I have it twice. Okay. Factor 1, 2? Yeah, factor 1. He had it as a sphere. Factor 1, so it's really a sphere. We're going to get rid of these, but I'm doing this so I can show you something. Apply. And apply. So we've got a ball that's got the 6 faces that we're going to apply to it. Starting with the front face. We have to go to the directory where the front face is, and for me it's fast bender tutorial, etc. Quick way to find it is because it's different from his original directory is // takes you to the directory where the render file is, and if you're like me, you put your images in the same directory, then it's just render What did we say we were doing? Front. And I would have gone to front. When we rendered out the image, since it's stereoscopy, all I had to type was front, and Blender added the underbar left and the underbar right for each camera. Thank you, Blender. Makes life easier. We're not actually looking at that sexy view. Now we're looking at the sexy view for what front is. Alright, the reason why you see all of it is because I've already done this. Alright, so I've already created all of these before I crashed Blender. So what you have to remember, before it was not at extend, it was at repeat. And I will show you what that does. This is how the image attaches to the surface. Whether if the image is too small, it extends to become bigger, or if it repeats, or if it's too big, it clips the image. And if it's too big, it would shrink instead of extend. It's the same thing, just logically different. And there. See those dots? You can barely see it. I'll make it really, really big. See that seam? That's because it doesn't match up exactly with the vertices. But if we do, it's going to be front. Extend. That got a little bit better. And bye-bye, it's gone. So for all of these, let's extend it. It's making the image big enough to match the vertices, no matter whether it's too big or too small. Great. Now we have this ball that's got all these pictures on it, and you can't tell that it wasn't a ball when it was taken. So the good thing is, even though you don't need it to look like this, you see the point of the cube map. The cube map is the exact same data as if the camera was a ball. You don't see any distortions except for the ones we expect because it's a ball. No freaky artifacts yet. There should be. There should be. Why are there not any freaky artifacts? There it is. There's the freaky artifact that I was looking for. This is here because this is stereo, right? So they're offset from each other, left eye and right eye. So I forgot if this is front matching right. But when these meet, it's actually the left eye of one face matching the right eye of a different face, and vice versa. So they're not going to line up because they're shifted away from each other or against each other in a way that if you drew it, you'd see it. So when they meet up, they're not going to be aligned. Software that is designed for panoramas and stitching can fix this. Like I think Istica or PTGUI, you define that these points are supposed to align, and it would shift the image to make sure this all aligns correctly without completely destroying the image. There's possibly a way to do it in Blender by doing the projections correctly, or maybe having the cameras at larger than 90 degrees and then projecting it differently. I don't know. I've been trying to think through it, but haven't been able to figure it out yet in my head. So there you go. You have your left eye. And let's go ahead and render that out after I save it, like I've done 5,000 times before when I've made mistakes. What are we missing? Okay. What I was missing took me at least 10 minutes to figure out. And it's over here. I have the cube and camera set to not render. And Blender didn't say, you have no camera to render. So, render image. That be much better. Let's go viewport. We could simply overwrite this, right? And just change them, make them right eye, but let's not do that. Instead, let's take this entire collection. Let me see if I can Control C, Control V it. Nah, sure can. Alright, let's grab this entire ball. Control C. Yeah, come on. Did that just work? I had already copied it before. Let's see if this has the modifiers. Modifiers. No modifiers. Alright, so let's render this out so we can. Alright, this is left, so let's move it up there. I'm sure you people are saying, what the hell is wrong with you? What's wrong with me is I'm tired. Left cubemap, right cubemap. Left camera. Right camera. It's hard to see when this is highlighted. I need to name it because I will forget. Let's make sure settings are set to render. Thank you. 1920 by 1920, filmic, etc., etc., etc. Alright, so cube front. Something I did for this that I'll show you here is maybe I didn't set the color to filmic. You can set the color to filmic here, but sRGB, it's fine. Oh, that's what we used before. We did use sRGB. So good, they match. Front 02. It tells you how many times I've done this. A lot of times. Front right. Boom. Yeah, I don't have those keyboard shortcuts memorized. And good. You see those little thingies over there? It's already set for extend because we copied it. Up. Right? Right, and so we're doing this one with cast and subsert applied and one without to see if it makes a difference when we render it. We should see something distorted besides just shifted left and right if it matters, right? Did we do up? Yes, we did up right. I'm distracting myself. Right. Down right. But you see how easy it is once you know how to do it. Once you get the idea, it's not a lot of work, meaning that's how easy it is. Alright, so if we don't do something, it's going to render the wrong camera. So we have to set the scene to right camera. And now that sucker's filled in, so we know it's the correct camera. I knew I was going to do that, so I stopped myself, but then I did it anyway. Said right camera. So let's render this. It's one pass in cycles because it's just taking a picture of light that's being shown right in his eyes, so it only needs to sample once. Since we have an image, we don't have to do anything fancy for putting the panoramas together. I'm going to have in the comments a link to Irfanview and a link to GIMP. But Irfanview is cool because not only will it open just about anything in the universe, it also now has create panorama. They can do horizontals and verticals with multiple images. Doesn't do any kind of fancy pants things, so it doesn't do any edge detection. You can put pixels in between, but basically you go for side by side or horizontal. Come here you go left first and then you go right. I double clicked it and Windows decided to open it, and you go right, create image, and boom, left and right. So we did one with cast and subsurf modifier, the left one, and one without, and I said you should expect some distortion, like that wouldn't be a circle, that wouldn't be a circle, or both of these are fancy non-circles. There's a word for this shape. I forgot what it is. Hey artists, tell me what the word is for this shape. It's the shape used for the Powerpuff Girls, I think. Alright, so you notice that the left one is that corner over there, and the right one is that corner over there. Is it the same or different? Bottom one is the top. Top one's the bottom. Good. So you notice that they're shifted differently. That's how you know that they're different eyes, and you didn't put the same eye. Right? So this one above you is to the left, and above you is to the right. So the eyes are shifted. Good. So it's truly stereo. Let's see if we can find any more cool things. So if we follow this scene up, can we see any more? We run into this vertical feature set, and then it goes black, and then you can't see the scene. So one of the things you can do, right, since if you're building the entire scene yourself, or if you're framing the camera of the scene, you get to decide where the seams are. And this rug is horrible, right? So if I designed this, I would not use this rug like that. But this floor is perfect, right? Because of the zigzags, you can, if you look really close, you can see they're there, but it's hard to see. And this has vertical features and black where the seams disappear, and I believe this is a seam that goes across, and I think that's it. It didn't hit the rug. That's why I didn't see it before. It didn't hit the rug. There should be some seams up here for the top, but since it's all in the sky, you can't see it. And there should be seams down here for the bottom. Alright, so you can see this distortion of the bottom, and I think it's right there, but because of the parquet, something of the floor, can't see it. So good, not bad at all. So now we have, an image that could have better resolution. To get rid of all this, we can change the coloring and the shadows, mapping, all the normal Blender stuff to make all this better. This isn't because of the technique, this is just because I didn't do anything to make this a better Blender rend. Blender render. Alright, so we save this out. I'd already put it in final. This was the original name, so let's save that. Overwrite. I might have done this a few times, you think? Maybe? Alright, so wonderful. How do I view this thing? There's two ways to view it. Let me bring up a web browser. There's two ways. There's this color. This company went out of business, but if you go to this specific download page, which is going to be in the description, you can download the GoPro VR Player. Let's see if I can open it. GoPro VR Player. Okay. And I've got a ton of stuff running. This is yep. I have my Oculus turned off, so if we select the file, that even without the, it's got the scrolly, so we can see the non-stereo version. So the good thing is, cancel, open media. Oh, browse. These are the file types, see, and it uses image files. It allows image files. Most of the media players only do video files. So DLVR and other ones only do video files. Another one that does image files, and I won't load it because it's VR only, is the Whirligig player by Phil. I forgot Phil's name. He's been doing this for years, and I've talked to him a couple times in email, chatting back and forth on different topics. But it does a lot of these formats, which is cool. He builds these, and so you have lots of options. Those are video container formats. Okay, and it does image support. There it is. JPEG and PNG files, but it works best when the image file is resolution of factor of 2, like 38 by whatever. Again, so these are the only two I could find. Put in the description anymore, you could find that play images in VR on Oculus and Vive. There are probably plenty more on Cardboard and similar because it's more old school, right? And images came before, but there's that. So there you have it. We did an image. I will give you one bin file, one hint of what we can do next time, which is how do you render out these without clicking on it. And the way to do it is to create a new scene that is a full copy. Yeah, it's a full copy. And now you have two scenes. You can call one left. Scene right. And for scene right, it's a scene, right? Correct? So our right camera is camera 1. Right camera is camera 1. Yeah. Where's our right camera? Camera 0. Alright, camera's camera 0. Oh no, orb. Orb is left camera. Left scene. Right, scene. Well, that's interesting. It didn't show. Well, that's freaky. Anyway, you copy the cube maps, and it didn't do full copy correctly. That's really strange. It might be a 2.8 thing. But that's what you do. You copy the scenes, right? So you have a left scene and a right scene. The reason why you do that is because this bit of magic that I have on my screen. Where's zoom? Zoom, control mouse wheel up. When you do cube map, you create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scenes. For Equi, you create 2 scenes, and what you do is, that's my long path to Blender. Backtick means continuation of the line. Background means don't pop a screen. Engine is Blender Eevee. That's wrong. That engine should be Blender Cycles. Don't know why I did that. That might not have worked, and I might not have fixed that. And then you can define the scenes. So this is how you render more than one scene at a time, and also how you render more than one camera at a time. One way of rendering more than one camera at a time, by defining separate scenes, changing your settings, changing which camera it is, and at the command line you can tell it to render more than one with an output. So, spoilers. And that might be the only way, I tell you. I'll show you one more bit of fancy pants. If you use FFmpeg, you can have it do filters and put them side by side. And I'm not going to show you anything past that, because it's scary, but you can do it. And that's it. You probably already know how to do animations. It works the same way. The same way as normal animations, you just end up with more images to deal with. And you can use, I'll put a link in the description for FFmpeg and Resolve. Yep. For Davinci Resolve, which is free and a complete, awesome, gigantic editing suite. Come here. Just going to show you really quick. There. And this was my Mr. Elephant thing. And I was putting a fireplace sound in it. And I'm going to create a video that has a fireplace sound and a bunch of other cool stuff. The other bit of cool stuff is I have a recorder playing. Where is it? Currently recording my sound. And I'm going to stop this. No, I just recorded myself again. I'm going to stop this. Ambeo Orbit is free from Sennheiser. Let me show you that link really quick. Ambeo downloads Ambeo Orbit. This plugin, it's a VSP plugin, so it will work with Audacity, which is free. The Audacity video editing suite. So now you have a free video suite, and this is going to give you a free audio suite that you can download from audacity.org. It'll use 32-bit VSP plugins, and we added Ambeo Orbit, and that does, come on, look what this can do. This can put sound in 3D, both direction and elevation. So just like in the cool video games, you can take the sound you recorded, like a gunshot, and put it in a height and put it behind you, etc. So it doesn't sound like it's in the viewer's head. And then with Blender, you can set up a speaker in the location where you'd say this sound is coming from. So if you wanted to come thinking it's coming from behind someone, you put the speaker behind them, you set it to do the behind, and bang, you have a gunshot that should sound like it's behind someone. Sennheiser and Ambeo did lots of recordings with lots of different heads, and ideally you scan the head of the person, but everyone's got a different skull, so it uses some guesses. So there you go. Blender to create models and to create VR imagery and videos. Davinci Resolve to edit your videos. Audacity to edit your audio. Ambeo Orbit to give it 3D spatial sound. Irfanview for very quick image changes, and GIMP. The GIMP. GIMP.org? Yeah. For not having to use Adobe Photoshop for image manipulation. And there's another one for painting that I forgot. That's free, that I use. So there's all your free tools for doing anything you need to do that I can think of in VR without paying for stuff. How cool is that? Adobe can go jump in a lake. Cool. Now we'll end the video. And next video, I think I'm going to play with these tools and put a sound with this mouse, try to do the fireplace, and have the camera move closer towards him, have the cello violin playing behind you, and that'll be it, right? A nice simple static mouse scene, but some interesting sound to create a three-dimensional feel, because he's closing his eyes and he's listening to a cello. What else do you need? Alright, you guys have a good time. Bye.